So the topic is review of literature. What is a review? Review means what? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, review means what? It's just a simple word, right?
Ma'am,
Ma'am, maybe corrections,
Re
verifications.
okay, reading. Then other answers?
மேம் காம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் கேக்குறது மேம் அதோட ரிவ்யூ நம்ம என்னென்ன இருக்குன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம் மேம்.
Yes, correct. So when we are reviewing a literature, this we are reading. That is a analytical reading, systematic reading. We should read it systematically, step by step. All the elements. We are reviewing all the elements one by one for doing our research. Okay, is it understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, review. First is review of literature. That is a definition. This review of literature is defined as a broad, comprehensive, in-depth, systematic and critical review of scholarly publications, unpublished scholarly print materials, audio-visual materials, and personal communication. These all things will come under review of literature. What is review of literature in the sense? We are doing a comprehensive, in-depth and systematic critical review of all the publications. Okay. Next is purpose of review of literature. What is the purpose of review of literature? Why we are doing review of literature in research? Why? What is the necessary of review of literature?
New ideas, facts, ma'am.
So it serves as a source of research ideas. We can get many ideas. In BSc also you are having one small project, right? Is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in that, yeah, it will be helpful for you all. 1 minute. It serves as a source of research ideas. Actually, when you are doing a small project in BSc, you don't have many ideas regarding the research. What topic I am going to take? In what subject? That means in nursing we are having lot of specialties. So in which specialty I am going to select the topic? Like that, we are having lot of confusion. So when you are reviewing lot of literatures, you will get an idea of which one I have to interested in, which one I am interested in. So we can select that one. Okay, that is, it serves as a source of research ideas. Then gives orientation to what has already been known. So in some topics, we know something. In your theoretical part, you maybe learned that one. So you learn, you know already something. So we are going for a comprehensive reading. So we can learn lot of things regarding that. For that, it gives orientation to what we have already been known and what is unknown. Then makes provision of conceptual context. Conceptual context in the sense, it's giving lot of abstract ideas. Abstract means what? Abstract ideas in the sense?
மேம் உணரவே முடியாத வேர்ட் தான் மேம் அப்ஸ்ட்ராக்ட் நவுன் சொல்லுவோம்ல மேம்.
Yes, correct. Actually, we can some things we can now height, weight, then their mid-arm circumference. These and all we can measure. But in abstract things, we cannot measure. All are happy today? Are you all happy today?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell how much happy you are? Can you tell how much happy you are?
Ma'am, lot of happiness, ma'am.
Yeah, we can tell that is a one small little, this I am excited, I am so happy, I am very much happy, like that. I am in bliss, like that we can say that, but we cannot say that I am 80% happy, I am 100% happy, I am 30% happy. We cannot say like that. So that is the abstract things. Okay. This abstract in the sense some it will comes in faith, then confidence, then happiness, then sometimes in pain also it will comes under, then coping strategies, these and all we cannot measure, that are all abstract things. So make provision of conceptual context in the sense in that situation we can do some abstract ideas by doing lot of reviews. Can you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear?
ma'am.
So,
Ma'am.
it's giving lot of ideas regarding the conceptual things, that is abstract things. Then provides basis for assessment of feasibility. What is feasibility? Feasibility in the sense appropriateness. If we are taking a research, but that is very minimal patient. For example, you are going for a health condition that is very minimal patients only having that issue. So this, if you are taking 100 as a sample in the sense, can you go for that? Is this feasible? That study is feasible? That population is feasible to you? No, right?
Yes, ma'am.
See, if very minimal population only in that, but you are going for the samples as 100, 200 like that, but you don't get the population according to your study. So this for your the sample size, you cannot get that people that much. So it's not feasible in your side. So you cannot finish the study. So this, it provides basis for assessment of feasibility. What are all the studies will be feasible, what cannot be feasible for this time being or with this financial resources like that. Okay, feasibility in the sense appropriateness. Okay, in this feasibility we can see economical feasibility, technical feasibility, and operational feasibility and schedule feasibility. That is 4 things will be there in feasibility, that is economical, technical, operational, and schedule. When we are doing research, these all feasibility has to be met. When you are reviewing a literature, you can get some ideas regarding these feasibilities. Okay. Then provide useful information on research approach. What are the research approaches you know? What are all the research approaches you know? See, this is a revision class. It's okay. This quantitative research approach, have you heard of? No.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Quantitative research approach, qualitative research approach, then mixed research approach. So this review of literature gives useful information on research approach. Then examine in research, we are having design, methods, scales, instruments, techniques of data collection, analysis, everything. This, if you are taking this discipline, in sense, that is one field of study, you can go for the review of literature. You are getting plenty of review of literature in that same. So you can assess what are all the things they have done as a design, method, scales, instrument.
Funny.
Sorry. Who is there? Want to say anything? Okay. So all the ideas you will get. Then identify a study for replication or comparison. Replication in the sense you are doing, this one person is doing the study. That study will be conducted in a different situation and different people in the sense that is called replication. Then that 2 studies can be compared together. So that is also the, if you are going to do a study, that same study will be done by a person in another situation to another people in the sense that is a replication of study. Okay. So you can compare that result as well as your result with that one. Then examine difficulties reported by others. Sometimes when you are doing a research, everything will not go according to your concern or according to your plan. some difficulties will be there, some permission issues will be there, then some concern you won't get that. So that difficulties and all you can, this can be managed later because you are already reading the review of literature according to. Then define ethical implications of similar studies. What is ethical implications? In each and every activity when we are doing that, ethics should be there, like that we used to say, no? In research also we are having some ethics. That is ethical implication in the sense we should not harm others. Then you are doing some research on subjects in the sense we should not harm. Then their confidentiality should be maintained. Then privacy should be coped with. Yes. So everything will comes under ethical implication. So when you are reviewing, you can see that whatever ethical implications they have, they already maintained or they followed, or what is violated, you can assess that. Then identify a guide to use in writing a research report. After doing all the research, you have to submit a research report. In that review will help to write a research report as a guidance. Can you understand that? Till now?
Yes, ma'am.
Till now, any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Uses of literature review. In research, it's helping for the research as well as non-research activities. In research, what are all the uses in the sense? In qualitative research, phenomenological design. What are all the things we can do in phenomenological in the sense? Compare findings with information from the review of literature. That is commonality of a lived people. That is phenomenological in the sense, commonality of a lived people. We can compare that information. You are doing, for example, you are doing one research in one group of people. You are doing this, one person is doing research in the same alike group in some other situations. You can compare that. Okay, their lived experiences, that will comes in phenomenological as a qualitative design. Understood? Is it confusing?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it confusing? No. Okay.
Oh, ma'am.
Phenomenological approach in the sense that will comes under qualitative design. That is this commonality of a lived experience of a particular group. For example, one tribe, tribal people, you know, right? One tribal people are living in one group is living in this side, one group will be living in some other area. So that time, what they will do, their living experiences they are assessing in the sense, one person is assessing here, some are assessing there, and comparing that both. What are all the commonalities are there? That is the commonality of living experience. Living experience can be measured. It's not measured. That is comes under qualitative design. Understood? That is called as phenomenological. Living, whenever we are assessing the living experiences of a group of people in the sense, that is comes under phenomenological design. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next is grounded theory. This grounded theory is systematic methodology for constructing hypothesis. In all the quantitative research, we are framing a hypothesis. In this hypothesis, we are framing the hypothesis based on the grounded theory. Grounded theories are giving systematic approach for framing our hypothesis. Okay. Then this is constantly compare literature with data being generated. Whatever data we are going to generate, it is helping for comparing the literatures, for producing the hypothesis. Then ethnographic, that is ethnographic in the sense, provide framework for the study. This conceptual frameworks and all we used to frame for our study, right? That is based on some theories. We will frame our conceptual framework. That is, ethnographic studies are helping for providing a framework for the study. Then historical. In historical studies, it's giving sources of data. Then in the data, we are interpreting the facts and its cause and events, what that happened. in one historical event happened, in the sense we are comparing whatever events, whatever happened, then why it caused, then what is the effect of its cause. Everything will comes under the historical studies. So these are all the qualitative designs. Understood? Phenomenological approach, grounded theory, ethnographic study, and historical studies. These all comes under
Yes,
qualitative.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Then in quantitative design, what are all the uses, in the sense? Normally we are using studies, doing studies, all those things will comes under quantitative research designs. Okay. In quantitative research design, normally we used to have variables. That is dependent variable, independent variable. Quantitative designs used in developing all steps of research process. In whatever steps, actually, as you know, the problem statement, first we will make the problem statement, the need and significance, then hypothesis, then conceptual framework, methodology, findings, simplification of findings, recommendation, everything we can refer in the review of literature for writing purpose, as well as what we are going to do in future for our study also, it will be helpful to us. Then uses of in non-research. In an educational setting, develop academic scholarly papers. This, if you are doing one research, in the sense, how you are presenting that papers. For that, you can refer the literature, how they have presented. Then for oral presentation, then debates of a topic. What is debate? There is a specific discussion of a, there is a formal discussion of a specific topic. That is a debate. Debate in the sense, two specialists will be talking about some specific topic, in the sense, that is called debate. So we can see, before doing our research, we can review the debates also. What are all the things they have told, everything. Then revising curriculum. For in our nursing curriculum also, every time this I don't know this how many years once they are revising the curriculum. Then revising curriculum also, whatever things that is necessary to add, they will add after doing reviewing lot of literatures. Then develop theoretical papers for presentations or publications. Then in clinical settings, then implement research-based nursing interventions. In clinical setting, and this most of the nursing interventions are doing after the research, evidence-based only. Then develop hospital-specific protocols or policies related to patient care. In that also, some specific protocols and policies, so they are developing in the hospital setting. Each hospital, they are having different policies and protocols. That all things will comes by research only. Then develop major documents and standards for clinical practice. Then develop practice guidelines. Then all the hospitals having practice guidelines. Each procedures, they are having protocols and policies. Everything they will they will formulate after doing research or some discussions or everything, from panel discussion of discussion from experts. After that only they will do all those protocols and practice guidelines, everything. Then sources of literature review. In sources, where in normally you are this writing on assignment, which are all the sources you will gather? You are writing one assignment. Now, we used to write assignments, right? In BScs. In which are all the references?
Ma'am, library books.
Yeah, books, right? Books nowadays. In nowadays you are depending on Google for everything, right? So this written documents, that is books, journal articles, abstract, critic reviews, and professional and governmental report and unpublished doctoral dissertations. Governmental report, what they will give mostly, this usually when we are referring that mortality rates, morbidity rates, what is the birth rate, everything that will comes under governmental reports. Then what are all the policies that government developed in healthcare industry? Then what are all the things they are going to implement in the curriculum of healthcare industry, everything we are going for, we can refer in the governmental report. Then unpublished doctoral dissertations. This after doing PhDs, this PhDs or after PGs or after that, after every masters, they will put their dissertations in internets. We can browse that and we can take this. So kinds of information in written documents. That is, what all the kinds of information will be in written documents, in the sense facts, findings or results will be there after the research studies. Then theory, research procedure or methods. Then what are all the procedures they followed, and what are all the methods of study they followed. Then their opinions, point of view or personal commentaries. For example, this, if you are taking this in one topic I am giving to you, in the sense, you all have same opinion or different opinions?
Different opinion, ma'am.
Yeah, different opinions, as well as your commentaries also will be different according, that is, each persons are unique, so our commentaries also different. So this, your opinion will be different in when you are reviewing a literature, their opinion will be different. So you can take it. That may be a good thing, you can take it. Then anecdotes are impression on a particular event or situation. What is anecdotes? What is anecdotes? Anecdotes in the sense what? That is narrative records. Narrative records after behavior or interaction. This, for example, it's out of our thing. This one child will be running to, when his dad is coming, the child is running and hugging his dad. This, what you have to write in anecdotal record, in the sense, after seeing his dad, he ran away and hugged his dad. Like that, you have to write. That is anecdotal record. You should not write that child is super excited to see his dad. This is your words. Okay. Anecdotal record should show what is exactly happened. That is anecdotal record. What has happened exactly, you have write that only. You should not write in your own words. Can you understand? Is it clear? Actually,
Yes, ma'am.
when you are entering into the patient's room, the patient may be eating something and she may wave to you, hello, like. So when you are writing the anecdotal record, when I entered to the patient's room, the patient waved his hand happily or sadly, whatever, that also happily waved his hand to me and said hello. That is anecdotal. You should not consider that when I am entering into the patient's room, the patient is comfortable. Like that, you should not write. You should not make it as a generalization. Can you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Anecdotal records. Normally, in nursing, anecdotal records are more important, because this anecdote, if something happened to the patient in immediate, that's, it's an emergency, something happened to the patient. When you are entering to the, they will inquire you also, because this, you should not if you are generalizing, the patient is comfortable, in the sense, what type of comfortability the person had, they will ask the question. So in anecdotal record, what happened exactly, you have to write as a same as things. Okay. The anecdotal record is an impression of a particular event or a situation. You are explaining the event or situation as it is. Okay. Next is types of sources. That is primary source and secondary source. In that primary sources, in the sense, a person who developed the theory. It is written by a person who developed a theory or conducted a research. That is a primary source. Okay, that is more reliable source, because if, for example, when you are taking one message, you are telling to your friend, that message will passing to your friends, next, like last, what message you will get? The half will be true and half will be their imagination, like that. Is it right? Will you accept?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you're relying on the primary source, this, what exactly got, what is the result exactly they got, that will be forwarded to us. If you are going for a secondary source, that information won't be that much reliable. So always rely on the primary source. Whenever the primary source is not available, we can go for the secondary source. Understood? So the primary sources are written by a person who developed the theory, a person who conducted the research. Then secondary sources written by a person other than the individual who developed theory or conducted research. The person, it is other than the person who developed theory or conducted a research. That person is the primary source. From that person, he read it out, or he may be learning from him, whatever it may be. This person will come under the secondary source. Then used when unavailability of primary source. If the primary source won't be there, we can go for the secondary source. Then critique of a theorist or a researcher's work. This critics always getting from a secondary source only. Because if you are doing a research, will you critique your research? Will you do your critical analysis on your research?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
You will do your work, you will do critique on your own work? Can you understand? See, if you are doing your work very hardly working and this made a thing, that means made a result of your research. Will you say that my research approach may not be correct? I may be taking these much samples, that settings may be wrong. Like that, will you critique? After finishing your research, will you say like that? Will you say like that? See, whatever things we are doing, that will be correct to us only, no? So after that, we won't critique that one. It may not be right. I may be improved that one. Like that, we won't write. Critical analysis in the sense, one research critic in the sense what? That may be this, that may not be right. It can be improved. They can improve their tools, like that. Something that is not right. Some small mistakes are there. Like that we are telling means that is the critics. The owner, that means whoever conducted the theory or research, that person will critiquing his own thing. Do you think so?
No, ma'am.
Yeah. So the critics of theorists or researchers' work, it will comes under the secondary sources only. The primary source will not critique or critique their theory or research. Yes. So yeah, if you want to read any critics in the sense, it will comes from the secondary sources. Okay. Understood this primary source and secondary source? Primary source in the sense, the person who developed a theory and research. The secondary sources in the sense, other than that person, all will comes under the secondary sources. The important element should be noted. Reports of studies of closely related problems that have been investigated. The design of the study, procedure employed, and data gathering instruments used. These are all the things you should be noted when you are reviewing a literature. What are all the problems, what are all the design and what procedure they employed, and what is the method of data collection, then population they studied, then variables, what are all the variables they included. We told, no, that is extraneous variable, dependent, independent variables. What are all the variables they defined? Then extraneous variable that could have affected the findings. Extraneous variables, we are not included the variables that is outside, but it may affect our result. Then when you are noting that in the review of literature, in the sense some other literature reviews, you can avoid in your research. Okay, that is the use of literature review. Then faults that could have been avoided. What are all the wrong things we can avoid in our research? Then recommendations for further research. We can recommend our this. I have done one research. We can recommend in the educational setting, clinical setting, in the management setting, everything. We can recommend whatever possibilities will be there. We can recommend that research to that disciplines. Then characteristics of relevant review of literature. Purpose of what are the characteristics has to be met in this? And purpose of the review of literature were met. what is the purpose of referring the journals or books, that should be met. Then summary should be represent the reviewed source. You may be seen the articles, no? The first summary will be there. Have you seen that in nursing research books or whatever articles will be the summary? What does the whole thing says? That is concise form. That is summary should be reviewed. Then critics reflects analysis and synthesis of material. That critics in the sense, what is the strength and weakness, limitation, conflicts and gap of information, everything should be comes under the critics. Then review consists of mainly primary sources. We have to, already we saw that one, no? Primary sources and secondary sources. Always the review consists of, we try to take the reviews from the primary sources. Then sufficient number of sources are used. If you are doing one assignment, how many books you will refer? Usually, how many books you will refer? You won't write assignments? Your ma'am is not giving assignments to you all.
Ma'am, mostly 1 or 2 books, ma'am.
Okay. So for research, for assignments, you are writing by 1 or 2 books. In library is available. Nowadays, it's okay. In library is available in the sense we can take more than 5 books for assignments. Okay. So here for a research, how many books we have to refer? Okay. So in the research, we should sufficient number till our doubts, everything is clear. We have to refer. For a lot of resources, we have to refer for that topic. Then summaries rather than continually quoting content. This summary, that is summaries should be there. Then continuously quoting there in the sense that will be very complicated thing. When you are writing something, this continuously doing some quotes, you are adding quotes in the sense it won't comes as a good summaries. Then summaries or critics are present in a logical flow ending with a conclusion. It should be in a logical flow. It should not be a confused one. If you are writing this article in the sense, when you are reading that should be clear from step by step. It should be this statement of the problem, it will comes in the last, the result will comes in the first. Like that we are changing. That is confusing in the sense nobody can understand it properly. So it should be in a systematic flow. That should be written in a systematic flow, as well as conclusion should be there at the last. Then stages of literature review. For example, if you are taking a book, what you will notice that first? What you will notice when you are taking a book? You are taking a book from a library. What you will notice first? You won't notice anything? You just take the book and come back? No answers. You people are not taking book from the library.
Ma'am, topics.
Okay.
What topic? Author name.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Content will be easy.
Sorry. It's okay. See, when you are taking the book, normally when you are taking the book, we used to see how much that means, how many pages will be there, who is the author, what is the front page says, what are all the indexes will be there. Then everything, that is a general. Generally, we used to see that one. That is a quick perusal. Okay. There is a preliminary search. When you are taking, that is a general preliminary search. That is a quick perusal. What is there like that? That is a generalized view. Next is the second stage. In that second stage, there is a critical review. In that critical review, only we have to go for the merit, strength, weakness, and shortcomings of everything. Okay. Skills needed for literature review. That is critical thinking skills. First is critical thinking skills, rational examination of ideas, inferences, assumptions, principles, arguments, conclusion issues, statements, beliefs, and actions. These are all things under the critical thinking skill. Okay. When we are taking the literature, you are taking an article or you are reading an article, you have to examine all those things of that author. Okay. Ideas, inferences, assumptions, arguments, conclusion, their principles, what's the statement says, what is the beliefs and actions. Then critical reading skills. This first we should think about that, then we should read about that. Then preliminary understanding, understanding the main steps of research process. Then comprehensive understanding. First we should do the preliminary understanding. Preliminary understanding in the sense, generalized understanding of the whole article. Then comprehensive understanding in the sense, in that what are all the unfamiliar terms and concepts are there. This we don't know everything, no. So we have to learn from that articles or books. That's so. Second, we should note the unfamiliar terms and concepts. Then next is analysis understanding. In this analysis understanding, we should break that contents into parts, pieces. We should make it as a small pieces, then understand each part of that. Okay, that is, yeah, that is very mandatory for doing our scientific analysis. This, so preliminary understanding, we should understand the main concept, what that says. That is totally what it says. Then comprehensive understanding, that is unfamiliar terms and concepts we are understanding. Then analysis understanding, this is the, and we are making it a small fragments or elements. We are make this analysis each and every parts. Then synthesis understanding, already we analyzed everything as a small parts, no. Then whatever things you derived from that, you should make it as a whole and make it, this you can write it as a whole. Okay, combination of putting together or combining all the parts into a whole. Whatever things you analyzed, you can make it as a whole. Understood? So critical reading skill, 4 things are there: preliminary understanding, comprehensive understanding, analysis understanding, and synthesis understanding. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, here are 7 steps to producing a literature review. How we can produce a literature review? Actually, this in your research, there is a second chapter, review of literature. One chapter is there. In that, what are all the, for writing that chapter, what are all the things you have to do? This is identify your question. First, what topic I am going to do? That is the thing. Review discipline styles. Then which area or which, now for BSc this is very liberal. There's you can go for whatever topics this related to nursing, whatever topics in the sense you can go for pediatrics or psychiatry or whatever is your convenient and whatever is your interest based on that. So review discipline styles, then search the literature. You have to search the literature. It may be in library or maybe in web pages or in journals or whatever it may be. Then manage your references. You have to note it all the references. Then critically analyze and evaluate. Critical analysis in the sense already we told, no, we have to make it as a small fragments or small elements, and everything we have to analyze it scientifically. Then synthesis it. Synthesize it. Whatever you analyzed scientifically, you have to make it as a whole, as a synthesize analysis. Then you have to write the review, so that only the review of literature will be perfect. Can you understand? Identify a question first. You have to formulate your question first, then review the discipline styles. What style of discipline we are going to select, then select the literature in whatever availability of your literature reviews. That means from books or journals or web pages, whatever it may be. Then manage your references, then critically analyze. Whatever reference you made, you should analyze it critically. You make it as a fragments and analyzing each and every parts. Then you have whatever you analyzed, you are making as a whole, as a synthesis. Then you start writing the review. Then steps in review of literature. That's already we saw that, no? Examine the book or article quickly. Note the author, title of the article, year of publication, record information in order, problem statement, definition of concepts, hypothesis, and theories or assumptions used. That is method of research, instruments and scales used. We are having lot of scale, nominal scale, interval scale, that Likert scale, like this, and usually in research we used to do our Likert scale mostly. Then types of research, then method of findings of data analysis. For data analysis, what are all the methods they have used, then interpretation of data, how they have interpreted the data for hypothesis is supported or rejected. Hypothesis will comes from the theory. Then we have to test it by our analysis and whether the hypothesis is supported or rejected. What is hypothesis? What is hypothesis? That's our expectation or prediction. So this is for example, when you are expecting something, the result will be like that only. This after my intervention, the patients will gain knowledge. After my intervention, the patient's practice will be improved. That is our hypothesis. That is our expectation. After my research, after my intervention, after I gave that intervention, the patients will be improved. Like that, that is our hypothesis. After deriving all the results, then after putting everything into form and data analysis, everything, you came to know that whether your hypothesis is accepted or rejected. After intervention also, the patient's practice, knowledge may be improved, the practice may not be improved. Okay, so that is your assumption that may be accepted or rejected. That is after the result you came to know that. Okay, for this publishing our ideas as well as expectation or prediction, we are forming the hypothesis based on the theories. Then recommendations and suggestions for further study. We are recommending for further study. I done this one. You can go for other branches in the same situations or same subjects or different subjects. You can add this also. Like that, we are giving some recommendations. Then implications of practice or theory. Our study, how it's helping for practice or theory. This usually in nursing, all those things we are doing in evidence-based practice. What is evidence-based practice? Anyone? See, you are giving cold compress, right? Cold compress. This previous days, it may not be there. How they find out that cold compress reduce temperature? By evidence. Lot of research may be going on. This after that, they may be find out cold compress reduce fever, like that. Okay. One more example, nosocomial infection. That is a hospital acquired infections, maybe more. After that, cleaning, barrier techniques, then isolating the patients, then everything will be cleaning very frequently. The wards cleaning will be, then barrier technique, that protective clothing, everything will be given for one group of people. Then they came to know that the hospital acquired infection is less. Then they will give it as a practice. Okay, that is called as evidence-based practice. Can you understand? One thing they have practiced, then they analyze the result. The result is okay. The result is good in the sense we can put it into a practice in a clinical setting. Okay, that is called evidence-based practice. Okay, already we evidenced that happened. That is the evidence. We are having a evidence. According to that, we are putting it to a practice. Understood that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, this is apart from our field. This one factory was there. In that factory, this every day they are coming for the workers around 8 o'clock. Then till 4 o'clock they are having their work time. Every day they are coming and doing the work. They are going from starting to it's coming that productivity in the sense profit. That is gradually decreasing. That owner don't know. That is person don't know why it is going on like this. Because everybody is working. This every day is going like that only. But he don't know why these things are going on like that. Then he consulted a person. That person come and visited the factory. Then he told that that's already they are having blue lights. Okay, this that blue lights are somewhat dim and something. So he told, just change the lights, change the blue lights and make it as a white, bright light like that. So he thought, okay, what is the difference will come in that? Like that he thought. But this after changing that to bright light, in that 1 month itself, their productivity is the highest. So this is a small change, but it gives much profit and much benefits. So it can be useful to the other factories and other places also. The brightness is always important. Then the dull and gloomy working atmosphere reducing the productivity. Okay, so this is a evidence based. Already they have tested here. It can be practicing to other areas. It's okay? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So this if that patient and that this faculty shifts also like that only. This if you are going and talking with the patient very nicely, communication as well as very small soft skills we are giving to patients, as well as the staff's shifting, that shift work will be there, no 8-hour shift like that. So that also improving the patient care, because the staffs will be refreshed after every shift. They are freshing. This 12 hours, in that 12 hours productivity is less than the 8 hours productivity. Okay, so because they also need some refreshment, as well as patients also need some communication from staffs and health workers, as well as they also, that fully monotonous of work will be there to the staffs, as well as very monotony of sitting or lying down to the patients also. Very small soft skills we are teaching to them or encouraging them to do, or you are going and talking with them, in the sense their health care will be improved very easily. That is also a evidence based. Okay. So the next is communicating a review of literature. How can we communicate? After you completing every review of literature, you can do this one. Organize the review into an outline. Whatever you studied or whatever you learned, you organized it as an outline. The content of the review is included the investigators' recounting and interpretation of the literature that forms the foundation for the current study. Whatever content the person had, whatever content you read it in the literature review, you can make it as your foundation. You are not copying. That's not called copying. You want take it as a guidance. Okay. The style of presenting the result of literature review and analysis will vary according to the style requirements for courses. Actually, you're presenting a literature review. This after literature review only we can do all those things. This after literature review, you are presenting things in different way. For one is for research. In a research presentation will be different. In an article presentation will be different. In a debate presentation, it will be different. The thesis or dissertation, whatever it may be, the presentation will be different. So when you are reviewing the literature, you have to arrange according to your presentation. For the debate presentation, you cannot go and do it in an article presentation. Understood? This is different, that is different. The content will be same, but the presenting things will be different. Okay. In articles, in the sense, summary should be there, conclusion should be there, everything should be in orderly arrangement. In debate, in the sense, what is your viewpoint, what is other person's viewpoint, that should be. So your presentation will be different, even though the review of literature is same. Okay. Till now, any doubts?
Okay, ma'am.
This bibliography. Okay, that's all. Any doubts? You can ask me if you have anything.